everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Krista from Spirit and Thread Crochet, and today we are going to be working through making this granny square festival crop top. So for this pattern, we're going to use a 4mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle for sewing in your ends, a pair of scissors, and 3 or 4 granny squares. And these I made using my sunflower tutorial video. I will have that linked in the description. You can use any types of granny squares that you'd like, as long as the size of the granny squares is approximately this size. So for a size small top, I'm going to be using 3 granny squares, but if you're making a small, extra small, or medium, you'll need 3 granny squares. If you're making a size large, you'll need 4. I will have the sizing chart linked in the description as well. And you will also need size 3 or 4 yarn. My favorite is Rainbow Cotton from Hobby. This is a size 2 yarn, so I'm putting 2 strands together to make a size 4. So first we're going to make our bralette cups. And to do that, we're going to leave a long enough chain for sewing. And then for a size extra small, small, or medium, chain 8. For a size large, chain 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I'm going to chain 1 just as a turning chain. I won't be half double crocheting into that chain, it's just a turn. Now I'm going to half double crochet in the second chain from my hook. And then I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch across for a total of 8 or 9 half double crochet, depending on how many were in your starting chain. So I have 8 half double crochet. In the last chain here, I placed 1 half double crochet already, but I'm going to half double crochet 4 more times so that there are a total of 5 half double crochet in this chain. And that is going to help me wrap around to the second side of that chain so I can work along this side. So that is 5 half double crochet in this top chain here, and then half double crochet on the other side, 1 in each stitch. And as you approach the end, make sure that you're getting that final stitch. Sometimes it's a bit hard to see. I also like to half double crochet over top my tail here so that it's tucked in place when I'm ready to sew all my ends in. So that is row 1. Now for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 to turn my work, and then half double crochet in each stitch up until I reach the middle stitch of my 5 half double crochet cluster at the top of my point here. So half double crochet in each stitch. And I'm approaching my 5 half double crochet cluster. I'm going to half double crochet into the first 2. In the third, that middle half double crochet, I'm going to place 5 more half double crochet. And you'll start to see the point at the top of my bralette cup forming. In each of these middle stitches on every row, we're going to be placing 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then half double crochet down the other side. So you'll see my bralette cup is already taking shape here. For row 3, I'm going to again chain 1, half double crochet up to that top middle stitch, place 5 half double crochet in that stitch, and then half double crochet down the other side. And we're going to repeat this for a size extra small, small, medium, and large, a total of 6 times. All right, so I just finished my 6th half double crochet row, and you can see my cup is really taking shape. Something to check at this stage is that your bottom edge is flat. If it is looking like an angle here, that means that you're missing stitches at the bottom of these rows, the bottom or the front of the row. So make sure that this is a flat edge at this point. Now we're going to be adding double crochet rows. To do that, we will chain 2 and turn our work. That counts as our first double crochet. And then we will double crochet in every stitch up until our top middle stitch. In that stitch, we'll place 5 double crochet. So this is really the same as your previous rows. We're just replacing the half double crochet with a double crochet. For a size extra small, you'll have 2 double crochet rows. For a size small, you'll have 3. For a size medium, you'll have 5. And for a size large, you'll have 7. I'm reaching my top middle stitch. So in that stitch, I will place 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to double crochet in each stitch remaining in the row. I'm making a size small, so I'm going to create a total of 3 double crochet rows, and then I'll meet you back for the finishing double crochet row. I just finished my last double crochet row, and at this point you want to hold your cup up to make sure it mostly fits your desired size, minus 1 more double crochet row that we're going to add. If you don't think that it fits you properly, then you can always add more double crochet rows or fewer until it fits you perfectly. Once you're ready for your final finishing double crochet row, chain 2, and that will count as your first double crochet, and turn your work. Double crochet into the second stitch. Now you're going to skip 2 stitches and place 3 double crochet in the third stitch. Again, skip 2, place 3 double crochet in the third stitch. And repeat this until you approach a few stitches from your top middle stitch. So for a size small, it so happens that I have 2 stitches remaining until I hit my middle double crochet here. However, that might not be the case depending on your size. So if you have 2 that you can skip to continue this pattern and then work into the third, you're going to do that. If you have 3 stitches remaining before your middle stitch, then place a double crochet into the third and then proceed with these steps. If you have 4 stitches remaining until your middle stitch, then you're going to skip 2, double crochet in the third and fourth, and then follow these steps for that middle stitch. For a size small, I have 2, so I'm just going to skip my 2. And in that middle stitch, I am going to place 2 double crochet and then chain a desired length for my neck strap. For me, that's going to be 50, but I would recommend somewhere between 50 and 60 chains for the length of your neck strap. I just chained 50, and now I'm going to chain 1 for a turning chain, and then single crochet into the second chain from my hook, and single crochet in each chain down my neck strap. If you want a thicker neck strap, you can do half double crochets in each chain instead. If you want a thinner neck strap, you can just slip stitch down each chain. You get to choose your desired thickness. So go ahead and continue whatever stitch you choose up until your last chain. So I am placing my last single crochet in my final chain, and then in your top middle stitch where you've already placed 2 double crochet, you're going to place 2 more. And for the second side of your bralette cup for this row, repeat to mirror the second side. So for me, I skipped 2 between my next 3 double crochet cluster. Depending on the number of stitches, yours might have looked slightly different, so make sure you repeat that in a mirrored way on the second side. I'm going to skip 2 and 3 double crochet in the third, skip 2, 3 double crochet, and repeat that until only a few stitches remain. Now after your final 3 double crochet cluster, you should have 4 stitches remaining. You're going to skip 2 once again, and then double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. And your first bralette cup is done. Fasten off, leaving about a 12-inch long tail. And the reason you're leaving this so long is that we will use this for an optional step to secure between the bust of your bralette cups. Repeat all of these steps to create a second cup. This time do not fasten off, and I'll meet you back here. So I just finished my second cup here, and I'm going to get ready to connect my 2 bralette cups together. A few things to check here. We're going to turn our work so that our current working loop is on the furthest right side. Flip your bralette cup upside down so you can work along the top here, which is actually the bottom of the bralette cup. And position your second cup so that it's ready to also be added. That means you want to have your open tail here facing the same direction as your open loop on each of your bralette cups. And now we are going to add a row to connect these 2 cups together. Chain 1, and we're going to single crochet 2 times in each double crochet row. And then we are going to single crochet 1 time in each half double crochet row. I like to single crochet over my open ends here, make it easier to sew them in at the end. And once we get to this middle here between our 2 half double crochet rows at the center, we're going to skip over the middle and go into the next half double crochet. So single crochet once in each half double crochet row, twice in each double crochet row until you place your last stitch. I placed 2 single crochet in my final double crochet row, and now I am going to place 2 single crochet in the first double crochet row of my second bralette cup. And then continue to single crochet along this edge of your second bralette cup. I just placed 2 single crochet in my final double crochet row. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and then single crochet in each stitch across. Single crocheting in my final few stitches here. And then I'm going to fasten off. And my bralette cups are done. Now we're going to use this long tail here to join our 2 cups a bit more for more coverage for your cleavage. So if you want it to be a bit more busty, you don't need to use this at all to sew up. If you want it to be a bit more secure, you're going to sew up the 2 bralette cups together to your desired height. The more you sew together, the more coverage you'll have. The less you sew, the more busty it will be. And I'd also recommend for larger sizes, you might want to sew up a bit higher than for smaller sizes. So I'm making a size small. I am just going to sew a couple stitches together. So maybe I'll do 4 stitches. And we want to make sure that I'm going into matching stitches on each bralette cup. And I'm sewing into the first 4 on each cup to join them together. And then I like to sew back down the way I came, like this. And now there's a bit more security between my bralette cups. Now I'm putting my bralette cups aside to begin assembling the waistband using my granny squares. So first step is to join the granny squares in a horizontal line. And to do that, we'll take 2 squares, put them on top of one another so that the right sides are touching, the wrong sides are facing out. I'm going to slip stitch to connect through the middle chain in the corners. And then I'm going to single crochet to join these cups in each stitch. So I'm going through the next chain on the first cup, through the next chain on the second, and I'm single crocheting them together. Now you can go through the entire stitches on each side. I like going through the most outward facing stitches on each granny square. So what that looks like for this project is going through the front loop on the front granny square, the back loop on the back granny square, and then single crocheting them together. So again, front loop, back loop, single crochet. And repeating this in each stitch until you reach that middle chain. So I just single crocheted in that middle chain on the next end. I'm going to fasten off and repeat these steps with my next granny square. Again, for a size extra small, small, and medium, you'll want 3 granny squares in a horizontal line. For a size large, you'll want 4. So I'm going to have the right sides touching, the wrong side facing outward. And I'm going to slip stitch through the middle chain in each square to connect my yarn. So here's my slip stitch. And now I'll single crochet through stitches on each granny square to combine them. Now I am using sunflower granny squares for this top, but you can use fruit granny squares or hearts or your classic granny square design. Whatever you'd like, because it is customizable to make the waistband your desired length by adding however many granny squares you want. Using my sunflower granny square tutorial, it is 3 for a size extra small, small, or medium, as I mentioned. For a size large, you'll want 4, but that can change based on the size of the granny squares that you're using. So I have my 3 granny squares all connected. And now I'm going to begin adding rows on each side here to expand the waistband. So I'm going to turn my work to work along the short edge, slip stitch into the middle of a chain 3 corner, and I'm going to start by chaining 2, which will count as my first double crochet into the chain space, and then double crochet into each stitch across. I'm approaching my final few stitches here. I'm double crocheting in each stitch, double crochet into the first chain here, and then double crochet into the middle chain. And that is row 1. Now for row 2, I will chain 2 and turn my work. This counts as the first double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. And repeat that pattern down our row. Approaching my final few stitches, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in my final stitch, and chain 2, turn my work, and double crochet across. And you want to repeat these 2 alternating rows until this half of your waistband reaches its desired place along your back. So you want this to be approximately the width of your waistband so you don't have too much open space between the two ends of this when you wrap it around you. For a size small, I'm going to do a total of 8 rows. And however many rows you do, make sure that you end on a double crochet chain 1 row, because we will weave our waistband tie through those chain 1 spaces. I'll show you one more row. So I'm going to double crochet in my final stitch here, chain 2, which counts as my first double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. So again, add as many rows as you'd like to reach your desired size. For a size small, I'm going to add 8, and make sure that you end on an even number of rows so that you're ending on a row with exposed chain 1 spaces, as that's how we're going to weave our tie together. I just finished my last row, so I'm going to fasten off and then repeat these steps on the other side of my waistband. So slip stitch into your middle chain of your chain space and connect on. Chain 2 to count as your first double crochet, chain and double crochet into the chain space, and then double crochet into each stitch across. I'm finishing up my double crochet row, and then I will add the same number of rows as on my previous side. So for me that was 8. And once you're done with your waistband rows, do not fasten off this time. We'll have one more step before you fasten off. I just finished my final row, and instead of fastening off, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work to work along the top edge of my waistband here. So single crochet 2 in every double crochet row that you just added. So for me that was 8 double crochet rows. And then once I get to the stitches in my granny squares, I'm going to single crochet in each chain stitch as well as each stitch. So here's my single crochet in a chain stitch, and then single crochet in each of these triple crochet, into that single crochet, and into each of these double crochet. So I'm single crocheting along each stitch on this top edge. Once I get to the stitches where I joined my 2 granny squares together, I am going to single crochet into this chain stitch, single crochet onto the first side of these joined stitches, single crochet into the next side, single crochet into the next chain stitch, and then into each stitch across. So repeat those steps until you have a single crochet in each stitch along the top edge of your waistband here. I just placed my last single crochet, and now I'm going to fasten off. And at this point, I would recommend sewing in your ends just because there are so many, and it'll make it easier for you to do the next steps of your project, where we join our bralette cups and our waistband together. So maybe take a few minutes now and sew in all of your ends. So now we have all the pieces we need for our bralette. We just need to join them together. And we are going to do that by working on the wrong sides of each piece. Now, if you had an odd number of granny squares, your center is going to be above your center petal. And then, of course, the center of your bralette cups is the stitch beneath where the 2 cups are joined. We're going to find that middle stitch, You're going to then single crochet across this edge through both pieces. And you want to make sure that your right sides are touching each other and your wrong sides are facing you right now. So slip stitch to connect your yarn. At this point, make sure that the middle of each piece is lined up. I'm using an odd number, so that's my petal. But if you're using an even number of granny squares, you're going to have your middle stitch of your waistband be between two granny squares. Like this. Now I'm going to slip stitch to connect and then single crochet into each stitch through your two pieces to join them. And I go through the entire stitch of the front piece and the back piece, unlike how we joined our granny squares previously. So continue working through both pieces until no stitches remain on your bralette cup, and then single crochet in each stitch on your waistband portion. And I'll do single crochets through the waistband for about 5 to 6 stitches, and then I will fasten off because we will rejoin and work single crochet border rows in the opposite direction now. So fasten off, flip your work, and slip stitch to connect in the rightmost available stitch, right next to the middle stitch where you previously fastened on. We are going to fasten back on and single crochet, moving in the opposite direction now. So again, single crochet to join both pieces up until you reach the final stitch of your bralette cup. I'm approaching my final bralette cup stitch, so I'm going to single crochet to connect through my two pieces on that final stitch, and then continue to single crochet along each stitch on the top edge of my waistband, and continue to single crochet across until you single crochet through the last open stitch on the top edge of your waistband. After my final single crochet, I'm going to chain 2, turn my work 90 degrees, and single crochet along the edge here. So 1 single crochet per stitch in each double crochet and each chain space. Place your final single crochet in the final double crochet of this row, and then we are going to chain 2, turn our work 90 degrees, and work along the bottom edge of our waistband. So single crochet 2 times into each double crochet row, and then once we reach the granny squares, you're going to single crochet into each stitch. I just placed my last 2 single crochets in my final double crochet row. I'm going to chain 2, and again single crochet in each chain and double crochet along this side of my waistband here. I'm placing my final single crochets in my chain space, in my final double crochet, and then into this single crochet row here. After that last single crochet, chain 2 and turn your work 90 degrees to work along the top of your waistband, and then single crochet in each stitch until you reach where you fastened off on the first part of your border row. And once you reach that previous single crochet, you're going to slip stitch into it, slip stitch into the next single crochet, and then fasten off. And you are done. The final steps are going to be sewing in all of your ends and chaining about 24 to 36 inches to make your waistband tie. So I'm going to go ahead and create my waistband tie where we'll weave through, and I'll meet you back here to show you how to weave it through. I am done with my strap, so I'm going to fasten off. And I haven't sewn in my ends yet, but I just wanted to show you how to weave your strap through. So you're going to start at the bottom, weave through each lowest chain 1 space, then I usually do 1 more in the middle, weaving it through, crossing one side over the other, and then again crossing through to the top chain 1 space, and then tie your little bow, and you're all set. And here is your final top. Here's what the back waistband loops look like when they're tied. Thanks for crocheting with me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe, like this video. Any support you can offer my channel helps me to dedicate more time to it, and I can create more free tutorials like this. So thank you so much. Happy crocheting, and I'll see you again soon.